அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். Today I am going to describe the William Wordsworth poem where he considers the growth of poet's mind that he is one of the best epistemological founder in vocabulary of English speech and the common people in the poetry level. He was the son of John and Cookson Wordsworth. He was born on April 7, 1770 in Cockermouth, Cumberland, located in the Lake District of England. He was closely associated with over 2 centuries after his death. Though after his 2 centuries of his death, his poem is still in young boy in grammar school. He went on walking tour of Europe and other places. He is best known for his co-author Samuel Taylor Coleridge. He is also a romantic poet. He is considered as the growth of poet's mind. So I'm going to describe the first part of the who is the happy warrior. Before that, I just want to share my writings on this, our relationship with the body and sense. How is it correlated with the human relationship in the universe? So whenever we say the poem or whatever we would like to express, we have to search for the reality in our life, that the heart that seeks, search for flowing, melting, and drinking milk, singing session and practice in manner period, that penetrating couch will only spread. In that poem, I'm going to describe in Tamil language, Nam meyyum unarvum udavum. Nam meyyum unarvum udavum. That's our body and sense will helpful to us for year long or for our activities. So human related activities. So that's what I like to quote on this as a poetical structure. Thedum ullam nadum nெஞ்சம் ஓடும் உருகும் பருகும் பாலும் பாடும் பருவம் பழகும் நிலையும் ஓடும் மஞ்சம் படரும் மற்றும். The way the heart that seeks search for, our heart and mind is correlated activities of our memory instructions, neural narrations of it was developed, and it has been increasing our search activities to cope up with the reality of the living organizations of our cells. That cells, how is it flowing, melting, and drinking milk? So that's the sensation of our sexual energy as well as the drinking of milk with the our human relationship bond with the mother nature and the universal reality that will bring our habit of our day-to-day activities of our period or growth period, that will sing the song that becomes Oodum Manjam Padarum Mattum. That's how that our sensual activities of our bodies, ever since our growth has been developing and improving, and day to day it sings our activities and relate with our sensations and our body sense. It will helpful to our every day of walk of our life with the சொல்லும் பாட்டும் வரும் ஆம் எனும் ஆணையும் ஆதரிக்கும். That whatever the orders given by ourselves, that will helpful to our that will helpful to sing the song what we like to say. Yes, say sollum, the whatever we call in Tamil, yes, is giving yield energy to our systems of our how it is activated with our organ strength, then tam udadum uravum thodarum. So whatever we like to speak, and whatever we convey our body and stretches, how it will helpful to our day-to-day activities with the heartful, how it is related with our relationship with others, and all this we, yes, the song is coming. The yes command will also be supported by manliness. The lip smacking relationship will continue. Our truth and feeling will help. So, தேடும் உள்ளம் நாடும் நெஞ்சம் ஓடும் உருகும் பருகும் பாலும் பாடும் பருவம் பழகும் இலையும் கூடும் மஞ்சம் படரும் மட்டும் சொல்லும் பாட்டும் வரும் ஆம் எனும் ஆணையும் ஆதரிக்கும் தம் உதடும் உறவும் தொடரும் நம் மெய்யும் உணர்வும் உதவும். The way I describe in English, the heart that seeks search for growing, melting, and drinking milk, singing session and practice in manner period, that penetrating couch will only spread. Whom the song is coming, yes command will also be supported by manliness. That lip smacking relationship will continue. Our truth and feeling will help. That's the way our body and cells will be helpful to our day-to-day activities. Along with that, the next part, இணையும் இடமும் இதம் தரும். So whenever our DNA or RNA related to the next part of our nature, our next part of our nucleus formations, that will also give, whenever it's connected to the DNA or RNA along with the supportive food materials of proteins and other related carbohydrates and other minerals and all this, that's இணையும் இடமும் இதம் தரும். That will helpful to our next part of our growth. That's புனையும் வகையும் புலனும் நிலைக்கும். That's the way our sensual activities of other parts of our living cells will helpful to improve furthermore than உண்ணும் தேனும் பாலும் நெருடும். So whatever we eat, honey or milk and whatever it may be, it will helpful furthermore to our activities. பன்னும் பெண்ணும் bandam yavum. So whatever it gives to our activities, that will helpful to our furthermore activities in so many ways. That's the way woman that makes all relationship whatever we like to have. So that's why plenty of goodness and prosperity to give, and increasing attachment with the correctness and more, and all this the day and night refuges intelligence into tight and narrow waist. So that's the way இணையும் இடமும் இதம் தரும் புனையும் வகையும் புலனும் நிலைக்கும் உண்ணும் தேனும் பாலும் நெருடும் பன்னும் பெண்ணும் பந்தம் யாவும் நல்கும் நலமும் வளமும் நிறையும் அல்கும் பற்றும் முனையும் முறையும் அல்லும் பகலும் இரவும் தஞ்சம் வளையும் இடுப்பும் இடையும் இருக்கும். That's the way our intelligence into tightness and narrow waist, how it will helpful to our body stretches and how it relates with our hip and other movements of our activities, and how it is related with the growing cells of our human parts and body of our cells moving furthermore and for goodness. So how it increases its energy with the helpful of honey and drinking milks. That's the way I express in Tamil first and express the second part in English. இணையும் இடமும் இதம் தரும் புனையும் வகையும் புலனும் நிலைக்கும் உண்ணும் தேனும் பாடும் நெருடும் பன்னும் பெண்ணும் பந்தம் யாவும் நல்கும் நலமும் வளமும் நிறையும் அல்கும் பற்றும் முனையும் முறையும் அல்லும் பகலும் இரவும் தஞ்சம் வளையும் இடுப்பும் இடையும் இருக்கும். That's the way it will helpful to our, that will and I express in English, this will also give you space to connect, and the type of perceptions will remain the same as if eating honey and milk. Woman that makes all relationship. It's the way to improve our energetic activities of our day-to-day life, along with the goodness what we like to share, the way we improve our relationship and all this. So plenty of goodness, will, and prosperity to give, and increasing attachment with the correctness and know the day and night refuges intelligence into tighten narrow waist. That's the way it improves our helpful activities of our day-to-day affairs along with the so many performance of our life, along with our human civilization, whatever we preach and do the things. That's the way that gives confidence and spreadness of the human beings in all the sensitive part of our organs, and they will be helpful to furthermore for human activities. ஊடகம் தாடகம் மாறும் மறையும் நாடகம் நடிப்பும் துடிப்பும் முற்றும். The relevance of M sound is in reality. That's the way. The relevance of ஒளியும் பொருந்தும் உள்ளம். That's the way our ஒளியும் பொருந்தும் உள்ளம் ஊட்டும் மனிதம் தூவும் துணிவும். That's the way our the media of our media and false will exchange and hides whatever in the parts of our body. That's will improve our furthermore activities of our day-to-day affairs. That media, whatever we increase our sources of energy in various ways, will exchange and hide. That's the way the drama and performance will end with excitements. So whatever the relationship will helpful with the word what we utter in a tricky way. See, the relevance of M sound is in reality, that feedbacks human spreads courage. That's the way we can improve furthermore on this. I like to share this the William Wordsworth poem. What is the happy? Who is the happy warrior? Who is really the happy warrior? Written by William Wordsworth. That who is the happy warrior? Who is he? That every man in arms should wish to be. That everyone should try to help, try to improve his activities. It is the gender spirit who, when brought among the tasks of real life, hath wrought upon the plan that pleased his voice thought, whose high endeavors are an inward light. So this is really யார் அவர் நமக்கு எவ்வாறு ஒவ்வொரு மனிதனும் இருக்க விரும்ப முடியும். தாராளமான ஒரு சிந்தையில் உண்மையான வாழ்க்கையில் நாம் எவ்வாறு சிறு வயதிலிருந்து சிந்தனையை கொண்டு போய் அதை மகிழ்விக்க முடியும் என்ற அந்த முயற்சியுடைய they will improve the performance in various ways. And he is the one who is having the tendencies called as happy warrior. Who is the happy warrior? Who is he that every man in arms is to be? It is the gender spirit who, when brought among the tasks of real life, he wrought upon the plan that pleased his voice thought, whose high endeavors are an inward light. That's the way he improve his inner light, inner path. It becomes brightness. How will it become brightness? Who is really going to understand the reality of the inner knowledge, how it relates with our day-to-day learning affairs of our effort, whatever we do. Really, யார் நாம் ஒரு உள்ளுணர்வுடன் அறிவு முடியும் என்ற முயற்சியை கற்றுக்கொள்ள விடாமுயற்சியாக தொடர்வோம். அங்கே நமது தீர்மானம் கட்டுப்பட்டு அங்கே மேலும் மேலும் தொடர்ந்து செல்வதற்குண்டான வாய்ப்புகள் உள்ளது. Who is the happy warrior? Who is he that every man in arms is to be? It is the gender spirit who, when brought among the tasks of real life, hath wrought upon the plane that pleased his voice thought, whose high endeavors are an inward light that makes the path before him always bright, who with the natural instinct to vision what knowledge can perform is diligent to learn. That's the way our happy movement will improve furthermore with the reality what we possess bites by this resolve and stops not there, but makes his moral being his prime care, who doomed to go in company with pain. Whatever pain we cost and the task what we like to take furthermore for our prime care, that may be doomed by so many pains and something. Don't fear. So fear, we can say, fight energetic alternative resources. Don't fear. And fear and that's a miserable train. This is not the miserable train for our life journey. So this whatever fear and bloodshed we cause for our action, turn that necessity to gloriousness, glorious gains. That's what he says. But whoever turns his necessity to glorious gains, that's the way he improves the party. Who those who having said that that doomed company with pain and all this, whatever the fear they cause, that fear we should take fight the energetic alternative resource and improve the dance is necessity to glorious gains. Whatever the necessity we like to have and that to should turn that glorious gains. In fact, in face of the though this is the exercise for our power. So in face of those, in face of these those exercise the power. So that's what he says. By this results and stop not that, but makes his moral being his prime car, who doomed to go in company with pain and fear and bloodshed, miserable train, turns his necessity to glorious gain. In face of these two, exercise a power. That's the way we use the happy variant. It describes which is our human nature highest doer, who do the things that college, that eminent sources of energy what we have and try to control them and subdues, transports, briefs of the bad influence and the good receives whatever bad influence we have, we just to control them and subdues and transmutes and views those things by objects, which might force the soul to be a feeling rendered more compassionate, is placeable because occasions rise, which the happy one, which is our human nature, is highest doer. Who is having highest doer, they control the everything, whatever the that influence they face, whatever the good receives they have, they try to improve that furthermore. That's the man who is having happy variant in the day-to-day life. It's what I'm going to conclude the first part with this. So often that demands such sacrifice. So that to create a demand to have a sacrifice in our life with more skillful in self-knowledge and even more pure, as tempted, more able to you, as more exposed to suffering and distress, thence also more alive to tenderness. That will become tenderness of this same way would improve furthermore with the activities that will give softness to our life and also become whatever the face difficulties, control the difficulties with the beautiful strength what we possess and try to get the things what we like with the knowledge what we have with the pureness and all this. The same way, whatever the opportunity comes, it becomes, we take this opportunity as a sacrificing level and we try to improve that level with all sort of things what we possess. That's the way we can improve our happiest moments of our career life. So just I describe once again the poem. Once again, I repeat the poem and conclude session today. Who is the happy warrior? Who is the happy warrior? Who is he that every man in arms wished to be? Is the generous spirit who, when brought among the tasks of real life, hath wrought, and the plan that pleased his boy's thought, whose high endeavors are an inward light that makes the path before him always bright. Who with the natural instinct to discern what knowledge can perform is diligent to learn. By this resolve one stops not there, but makes his moral being his prime care, who doomed to go in company with pain and fear and bloodshed, miserable train turns his necessity to glorious gain. In face of these do exercise a power, which is our human nature's highest doer, controls them and subdues, transmute, grieves of that bad influence and that good receives by an object which might force the soul to wait, or feeling rendered more compassionate, is placeable because occasions rise. So often that demands such sacrifice, most skillful in self-knowledge, even more pure, as tempted, more able to endure, as more exposed to suffering and distress, thence also more alive to tenderness. Is the way he expressed in the first part of the what he described. Just I explained the first part, but I choose of the beautiful language he expressed in English. So that's the way we improve our day-to-day affairs, our knowledge, as well as our happiness in all walk of our life. This just I conclude my talk on who is happy warrior, along with the poem what I write down with the title Nammayum Unarvum Udavum. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you for listening to this.